Okay, when you multiply binomials mentally, section 5.4, okay? You're really going to think of your FOIL method, okay? All right, let's take number 1, x plus 6 times x plus 1. We have two binomials, x plus 6, x plus 1. And what you're going to do is you're going to do this in your head, okay? So you're actually going to do your first ones. This is how we do it on paper, right? We do the first and we get x times x, which is x squared. We do the last, 6 times 1, that's positive 6 times positive 1 gives me a plus 6. I'm going to put the sign up there for you guys because eventually you'll have different signs on these. And now my insides plus my outsides, okay? If I go to the outsides, 1 times x gives me plus 1x, and plus 6 times x right here for the insides gives me plus 6x. And when I add these two together, right, I'm adding them, 6x plus 1x gives me 7x, and it's a positive 7x. Okay? So, we end up with the product of these two binomials being x squared. Then we write the x term next. So we basically go this one, then this one, then this one. We run them in descending powers of x squared plus 7x plus 6. Now that's just a little bit of a reminder of how you do that on paper, right? Does everyone remember how to do this? Okay, because now, if you're going to do this mentally, which is the sheet, okay, you're going to, like number 3 is a minus 4 times a minus 2. I know when I look at the first two, I'm going to get a squared. That's my quadratic term, because it, to the second power we call quadratic. Second power is a quadratic term. Okay? We have to learn that word. I know it's a weird word, but I'll be using it a lot because we'll be eventually factoring these or breaking them apart, right? So we have to remember how we put them together in the first place. Remember the Legos? We're going to put them together, then we're going to take them apart. Well, Legos are easy because they all have seams. These things have seams too, but you might not be able to find them as easily, right? So if I look at my first two terms, I get a times a. I'm doing this in my head instead of writing it down, and I get a squared. Now, if I want to do my middle term next, okay, I'm going to look at the two middle terms. Now, I know what you want to do. You want to do that 2 times 4 out there, don't you? Right? Everybody wants to do that next, right? And it's just negative 4 times negative 2 is what?
Wait, so out
8.
8, positive 8, right? We'll put the positive 8 out here and leave a space right here to put that middle term. That's going to be the hardest one to do in your head. Because what do you have to do? You have to do 2 operations. First you have to multiply the inside and the outside, and then you have to add those 2 together. Okay? So let's try to stretch our mind here a little bit. Minus 4a, minus 4 times a, minus 2 times a, is just minus 4a minus 2a, add them together. What do I get? Felix, what do I get?
minus 2.
Minus 4a
Minus
plus
6a.
minus 2a is minus 6a.
Gosh,
Okay? You see, I didn't have to write anything down. I did it in my head. Okay? And that's exactly what you guys are going to do, is because you're going to try to do some of these in your head. Now, some of them are going to get a little more difficult. Let's try another one and see if you can do it. C plus 2 times C plus 6. Okay, what's my first terms, Desiree?
C times 6.
What?
C times 6.
No.
Oh, C times
C times C, which is what?
C to the second power.
C to the second power. What's my last term going to be, Tim? Over here.
It is going to be 12.
Sign.
Addition.
Plus 12.
Addition.
Okay, now, what's the product of my inside and outside terms that I'm going to add together? Okay, Weston.
Well, you're gonna the C, the 6C and the 2C.
And how much have I got together?
8C.
8C plus 8C. Do you see how that's done? Okay. Now, if you cannot do this in your head, I would rather on a test that you take and do it out.
I have a question.
Tim, yes.
So when you're doing this, what you'll do is you'll add the 6 and the C in together, and then you'll multiply. No, you'll add the 2, and you'll multiply with the C.
Okay, but yeah, and so if you look down through here, all of these have, look at number 1 has plus plus, 3 has a minus minus. They all have the same sign, don't they? Now let's take a look at number 11 though. C minus 6. Let's get you a little C minus 6 times C plus 7. Okay, now I got a little bit of a different. When you have the same sign in here, what Tim says is correct. Yeah, you got 2 C's and 6 C's, you add them together, you get 8 C's. But what happens now, okay? What's the product, Eric, of my first 2 terms? C to the second power, right. Okay, what's the product of my last 2 terms? Katie?
Negative something.
Negative what? What's 6 times 7?
Oh, negative 49.
42.
That too.
7 times 7 is 49. 6 times 7 is 42.
Oh, it's taking those up.
Now, look at my inside and outside terms. What's going to happen here? Okay, Alex, do you know what's going to happen? What's going to happen? Yeah, I'm really going to be I'm going to have to really subtract, aren't I? Because I'm going to have my inside. Let's take a look at this. I'm going to get from my inside terms, I'm going to get minus 6C, right? But for my outside product, I'm going to get plus 7C. And when I
It's C.
add these 2 together, what am I going to get?
C.
Just a plain plus 1C, right? So when you have different ones, you're going to take those products and they're going to actually be subtracted, okay?
Wait, what if it was C plus 6 in parentheses and C minus 7? Would you get negative C?
That's right. Because I'd still get the C squared and I would still get minus 42, right? The first and last terms don't make a difference, but if this is a plus 6C and this one is a minus 7C, when I add those, I'm going to get a minus C, aren't I, in that middle term? The middle term is going to be the one part that's going to screw everybody up, if anything does. It's going to be that middle term, okay? Just so you know. So always take what you've got when we learn to factor these and make sure, go back and multiply it. It's better to do it by hand on paper instead of mentally if you think you're going to make a mistake rather than to get it wrong, okay? Eventually you should be able to do these in your head. Now let's take a look at ones like this. How about number 13? See if you can do it. 2A plus 3 times the quantity of A plus 4. Right? Okay, let's erase some of this stuff above it so we don't get confused. Okay? So what's my product of my first 2 terms? My quadratic term, Felix, is going to be what?
I know.
Weston.
I know Weston knows it, but I want to know if Felix knows. 2
Oh, okay.
2A squared, right? Because it's 2A times A gives me 2A squared. Okay? Now what's my last term going to be, Elise?
12.
12 plus 12, right? 3 times 4 is plus 12. Now that inside term. Come on. I got it inside is 3a. What's the outsides? 8a. So I've got 3a plus 8a. And they're both positive, so I don't have to worry about the sign, right? I know it's going to be positive. So what's 3a and 8a? 11a plus 11a. Do you see how to do these? Nope. You don't.
How do you get the 11?
Well, he says the insides is 3a, right? Plus 3a. The outside is 2a times 4, which is plus 8a. So I get a plus 11a.
Oh, I get it.
Okay, you get it? If you can't do it mentally, do it like that, okay? Now, notice, I have put the signs here in black, and I'm going to put this addition sign because I'm actually taking the sum of these two. So if one of them is negative, you know you're going to subtract one, the smaller from the larger, and use the sign of the larger. I mean, that's what you're going to do. Okay, let's take a look at the back side of the sheet where they give us some little harder problems, right? Write each product as a trinomial. Okay, and now they explain the FOIL method. Okay, so here's some more, and here's some with some different signs. So, remember, if I have two positive signs in my binomial, it's going to be okay to, you're not going to worry about your signs. Let's take number 17 is 3a minus 5 times 2a minus 1. Okay? First terms, I'm going to get what? 2a times 3a gives me what?
6a squared.
6a squared.
Nerd.
Does everybody see that? What's negative 1 times negative 5?
5.2.
Plus 5.
Third.
Remember, if I have two negatives here, my last term's going to be positive. Well, what's my middle term going to be? It's going to be negative, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yes.
No. Well, no.
Okay, what? Come on, do it.
Come on, Weston, you got this.
What do you want?
The,
Negative.
no,
I know.
Jim.
Negative 10a squared.
It's not a squared.
Negative 10a. And positive 5.
What
Minus 1 times 3a.
Oh.
3a. Negative.
Minus 3a. And when I add these two together, I get minus 13a.
Dude.
All right? Some of these you're going to have to do like this. Okay? When I was in school, my teacher taught this as the Charlie method, okay, instead of the FOIL method. I know it looks a little crazy, but did I tell you that yesterday?
Two negatives in a problem makes everything.
What?
Never mind.
It's okay. All right. Now let me go down here and let's do some more here. I'm going to do number 29 for you, and I'm going to explain something to you. So 29. If you're taking notes, this is a good one to take notes on because down here is where they get harder. X squared minus 2x times the quantity 2x squared plus 3x. Now take a look at your directions. Express each product. What are they talking about? They're talking about this invisible multiplication symbol right there.
Says
Express each product as a trinomial, which three terms,
it says right one.
right? Write each product as a trinomial instead of express. But express and write are the same thing when they use them, okay? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to actually get rid of that little thing in there.
Oh
Okay.
no.
Nailed it.
Yes, I did nail it, okay. Now I'm going to show you this method that when and you've already seen me use it, right? Okay, I'm not going to do so much mentally, but if I look at this and I draw this diagram on here, doesn't that kind of look like a face?
Yeah.
All right.
It
What
looks
have I
pretty-
drawn?
It looks pretty
face.
happy.
How's this one?
Looks
Not
like
happy face.
it looks like some cartoon character, doesn't it? Right? Okay. So if you remember to draw this, you'll remember how to do this. Because this is your first. First goes up there. Last goes here. Okay? And I do my outsides and my insides. FOIL. Shh. Okay. So x squared times 2x squared gives me what? 2x to the fourth power. Okay? Now, I always did this. I always did the last terms first. I don't know why, but because it was easier, so I think that that's what you like to do. Negative 2 times positive 3 gives me a negative 6. X times x gives me x squared.
Yay.
Okay? Now my outsides is x squared times 3x gives me 3 plus, I'm going to put the sign in there for you guys, plus 3x to the third. Remember, this is 1 plus the 2 over here. Okay? And inside I get minus, because minus 2 times positive 2 gives me a negative, 4x to the third. Notice that these two terms are like terms, and that's why we can add them. Okay? When I... Are you going out for a dance or something? When I add these together, what do I get but a positive 3 and a negative 4 of this term here? I get a minus 1x cubed when I add them. Okay? So then I get 2x to the fourth minus x cubed minus 6x squared. And that's an example where you've got higher powers, okay? We're not necessarily getting a quadratic. Guys, I'm going to split you up if you're going to keep going like this, Felix, okay? Because I'm going to expect tomorrow on your test you're going to get a 100 because you're goofing around. Okay, all right, that's what I expect.
What if he gets a 98?
Now, does anybody have any question on these? Okay, these are the evens. You're going to do the evens for tomorrow. Then you're going to hand all 3 of them in. Don't forget, read the directions. You're doing it as a trinomial. I don't care whether you do it mentally or not, as long as you do it right.
Okay, is the test on 5?
The
Also,
test is on
5.
5.1 to 5.4.